Hi everyone, welcome once again. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use what we call Terraform Output Block. But so far, we have worked with Provider Block. Okay, we've worked with Terraform Block itself. We've worked with Resource Block. Okay, two Resource Block. What I want to show you is the output block. Okay, so Terraform output block, what does it do? It basically exposes the information of your configuration. For example, if you want to expose information about this resource, what kind of information? So the information like the username or the key, the secret, the secret key ID, all this information are part of this resource. Okay, so any information about this resource, you can expose it. Okay, what else can we use this output block for? So let's quickly look at the documentation. So if you want to expose this information about your resource, you use your output block. What else can we use it for? So in your child module, if you're not sure about this, I'll do a full video on what we call Terraform module, so wait out for that. But what we need to understand is a module is a folder. Yeah, so a subfolder, you can use an output block. Okay, in a subfolder we can expose the resource information, okay, to the parent folder or the main folder. That's what it basically means. So a child folder or a child module will expose the resource attribute or the information of the parent. Okay, you can use that to the parent. Okay, again, you can display that this output is displayed on your command line. Okay, you can use it for any other thing else, for automation, so you can pass this information from a Terraform operation to an automation tool, like let's say Ansible or something like that. Okay, and this is what it's about. So to define it, all you need to say is output, because it's an output block, and then you give this a name. Okay, the name you want to give it to it can be any name. Okay, and then their argument inside the curly bracket, there are certain things that goes in there. One of them is description. It's an optional. You can have value. Okay, the actual value you want to output. It doesn't end there. There are other things that you can output. So if you have like sensitive information, okay, you can say out sensitive as part of the argument. So sensitive true, it means it's not going to actually show you the value on the command line. Okay, I'll show you. So something like that. For database password, all you see will be sensitive. Yeah, let me show you the block itself, what goes inside. So output block reference. Inside of that, we have a value, you can have description, you can have sensitive, ephemera. I think this is when you have Terraform 1.10 upwards. Okay, so these are some of the arguments, the stuff inside the curly bracket that you can list. But the one that is required is the value, the expression. You need that. The rest are just optional. Okay, can you see here the argument, the value? This is required. The rest is optional. Right. Let's get cracking. How do we get the values? Again, let me show you. Okay. So if we go to our Terraform registry here, right. So for example, we are creating a secret key, okay, an access key, and also we are creating a user. That is what is in our configuration. If you want to output any of the information around this resource, you use what we call the attribute reference. Okay, so I can output the time or the creation date. I can output the secret in encrypted form. In this type of encryption form, I can output that. I can output ID. I can output key fingerprint. I can output the secret if it's in plain text. Okay, so these are for secret or access key. These are what I can output. So let's go on and output the ID. Okay, right. So for ID, let's go here. Let's do output. Okay, let's do output. Once I start typing, it start coming in because of the extension I have, Terraform extension I have. If you don't know how to get it, so click here and then you download Terraform extension, any of them. Okay, so output, that's why I'm getting nice, decent, what is it called? Um, Highlighting. Okay, so I'll say output. Can you see coming? What am I going to output? So let's say the ID, the access key ID. So I will say, give it any name you want. So user underscore access key ID or something. Yeah, let's do ID. That will do. Okay, that is fine. What goes in here, like I said, we have value as part of a require. Okay, and what I need is I want to output the ID of the access key because of the auto completion of my extension. That's why I'm getting it here. So all I need to do, I'll say accept on that. Okay, accept on that. That's fine. So basically, I'm going to do AWS, this one, IAM access key, or this dot dev. So dot dev, okay, dot dev, okay, and then because I need the ID, I say dot. Watch this. When you put the dot is going to actually print out all the attribute, okay, of the access key. So basically, the attribute that I can get are ID, I can attribute user, I can attribute status, I can attribute all these things, but we are interested in the ID, okay, for that. Right, that is one output. If you want, you can also output. Let's output one more. What are we going to output? Let's say the access key. No, so we done the access key. Let's do secret key. Okay, so let's do output and do secret. Yeah, remember value. What value do we need? So we say AWS. So access key, that one. And then what do we need? We say dot. What we are looking for is the secret. Yeah, but we can encrypt it. Yeah, if you don't want it encrypted, it will be in plain text. So let's go secret for now, just to show you, and then we do one, we will encrypt it. You see difference. Yeah, that one. Okay, that is fine. We can leave it like that. You can put a bit of description if you want, description, and say secret underscore key or something. Yeah, right. So let's see one more. Let's say let's output. What are we going to output? Let's output again secret, for example, but this one we're gonna let's do secret underscore user or something. Yeah, and then the value again, we happy with the value. So I am, that one is fine, and then we're going to encrypt it. Was encrypted, let's use that, encrypted keys. Yeah, that's fine. But when we output it, actually, because this is encrypted, so for this one, let's do sensitive. Yeah, sensitive is equal to true. Yeah, true. Okay, so that is it. So few of them should be fine. You get the drift. Yeah, so you can literally output anything that you want. Yeah, even the username you can output it. Okay, so let's do one more actually. So output, and let's output the username. So name. Yeah, and then value. Okay, what value? So AWS IAM user dev, and then you say dot. What do you want? You can output the ARN, you can output the ID. Let's output ARN at least. Yeah, something different. Right. So all we need to do is to run our Terraform apply. Okay. See how it goes. Okay. It's just telling you what is going to output. So name, secret, and it's sensitive, secret user, and then uh, access key. So I will say yes on this. Okay. Why? Okay. Right. So now, can you see the output? So the ARN, see the ARN here, and then this is the secret that is base 64 encoded. Yeah. And then we got the user keys. Okay. So the secret, that one they didn't even display. So let's say the which one is this one? Code. Let's make this sensitive. Yeah, sensitive equal to true. Okay. So you don't want to display it. So let's try that again. You need to run apply for you to get the output. Okay. If you run plan, it will just gonna show you. It's not going to display the actual. We'll say yes. See, there's no change, but we want to see the output. Enter. Now, can you see it's saying sensitive and it's not displaying as it was here. If you want to make all of them sensitive, you can. Okay, sensitive, true. Okay, fine here. So all of them are sensitive now, and no, this one is not. Okay, sensitive, true. Okay, why? Can't even spell true. So true on this one. Yeah, happy days. Right now, if you run, let's run, apply again. Then we say yes on this. Enter. Okay, now everything is like sensitive. Yeah. Right. So this is Terraform output. It comes quite handy, okay, just for you to expose the information about the resource that you are creating. As you saw, when you put the dot there, it's exposing everything. Then you can choose whichever one you want. Okay. I hope this helped. The next video, probably I'll go into variables. So we are in Terraform, so we keep terraforming. If you're not too sure, if you want me to do specific video about certain resources or anything like that, let me know. Okay, and I'm happy to tackle that. Happy learning. See you in the next video. Bye bye.